Dialogue. This is episode 4, segment 1, and my name is Michael.
I'm David.
What are we talking about today, David?
I would really like to talk to our viewers because I'm sure that you guys are on YouTube enough to know, and you've had the opportunity to see this woman named Susan Boyle, who has taken the nation by storm with her appearance on Britain's Got Talent. And she's just phenomenal. It's an amazing story. It's unfolding as we speak, and I can't wait to see where it goes to. Have you seen this? Are you aware of it?
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook like 2 days ago. Someone had posted it up on their page, and I was really amazed.
Yeah?
I have to say.
Well, what were you really amazed about? I mean,
well, I was amazed at her voice, okay?
Yeah.
Everyone was amazed at her, but I was amazed at something else even more so. She's what? I think she's 47 years old,
47,
she said.
yes.
And by, society standards, she may not be what they consider to be beautiful and all that stuff, all the stuff they want the pop stars to be nowadays, blah, 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 blah.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I felt the exact same way, because, it's so wonderful to see something like this happen because, we're so bombarded constantly with the media of, what everyone's expectations or what everyone's, idea of beauty and talent is.
Yeah.
And you see all of these beautiful women pasted all over these magazines everywhere, and, and the funny thing about it is that, even when you see those photographs, I mean, you're not really seeing that person. You know what I'm saying? They're so photo-touched and, and photoshopped and, everything is pushed up and pushed out and, so even then you're not really seeing the whole thing. And what was gorgeous about this, I thought, with Susan especially, is that, it's such a genuine, it's the real genuine article. What do you think?
Well, I was really surprised by her voice, as I was going to say, but more than that, I was surprised at the audience's reaction and some of the judges too, because when she stepped on to the stage, she really got the most dirtiest looks from like everybody in the audience just about, and there's 3 judges, and 2 of the judges were giving her pretty nasty looks, and you all know Simon Cowell, and the pretty little girl in the middle. I guess her name is Amanda Holden.
Amanda Holden. Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because she had the least amount of judgment in her. She was ready to see what's up, and that was kind of my whole thing when I was watching her get on stage, and I sensed that nasty frequency, that nasty vibration in the audience, and I was just thinking to myself, well, she just might be able to sing. I think everyone expected her to sound like a bullfrog, and I wasn't really expecting nothing but just waiting to see what would happen, And so she sang, of course, and, she just sounded absolutely gorgeous. Really, really, really beautiful. And then all of a sudden she got a standing ovation. All these hypocrites in the audience give her a standing ovation. I'm just going to be really mean for a moment and point out this one girl in the audience who had, she had this really thick mascara on, and, here she is making dirty looks at this woman, and if I'm going to judge everything, from society standards, beauty, I thought she looked pretty nasty with her mascara on, so I don't know what the hell she was laughing at, I don't know what the hell she was, rolling her eyes and all that stuff, That's not how I go around, I don't like to go around judging people in that way, but if I wanted to go ahead and connect with my ego for this one, that's how I feel about that one. And there's a couple people in the audience that just had the dirtiest, nastiest looks, and it's just a real shame.
Yeah. Well, I noticed the audience as well, but coming back to speaking about the judges, it was interesting for me to watch the 3 different levels of egos that were going on there.
Yeah.
Piers Morgan, who spoke and said, that it was the biggest surprise that he's ever had in the 3 years that he's been on that show.
Yeah.
So obviously, there was some level of judgment going on there. And then, of course, everyone knows Simon Cowell, and how, what's the dream, And, but Amanda Holden, I thought, it was just wonderful when she did, say what she said about, it was a privilege to actually hear that. Yeah. And what I notice about the audience, and when I pay attention, I especially pay attention to audiences in a competition arena, because most of the time what's going on with audiences when you're in a competitive arena is that audience members tend to really want to be the person who's on the stage. And so they're going to be even more critical of the person who's on stage because they, for some reason, or for lack of better judgment, think that they could do it better.
Or sometimes they just wish that they could do it better.
Yeah. So I'm sure that there were a lot of things that were going on in the audience. First of all, there's this woman is 47 years old. She's, she's not, a 22-year-old, pop star. In fact, she, doesn't even sing pop music. She's not, on the cover of Vogue magazine. And so there's a lot of things that go on there with that stigmata of, what is it that makes a real star?
Well, she was a real star that night. She really, really was. I could say that. And that's not the kind of music that I listen to on a normal basis, but it was so beautiful, and it actually, I didn't cry or anything, but it almost brought tears to my eyes. It really did. And it didn't really have to do with her talent, although with her talent, her singing ability is just gorgeous. It had to do with what was going on in the room. And, after she finished singing, she got a standing ovation, and everyone was surprised. And I really liked what Amanda said. She said, this is a big wake-up call. And, I believe in mysticism and things like that. So I'm going to be playful here and almost sort of say that the God and the universe, almost using this piece of entertainment here, Britain's Got Talent, to wake people up. I mean, look at what we, well, I've heard so many people say this, look at what we've become. I don't necessarily think, from my perspective, I don't necessarily think that we've become that. I think we've been that most of the time that humanity has existed, to tell you the truth. I kind of think it's always, for the most part, kind of been that way. I think this is a pinnacle of ugliness, but I think it's been that way for the most part, and I think we just need to start looking at things in a different way. She is absolutely a star, I believe, and I think that her record will do very well. I'm going to buy it. My mom already wants to buy it, and I've been singing this goddamn song that I've never heard in my whole life all day for the past 2 days, singing it around the house. So,
well, I think it's a whole new spin on ugliness.
Yeah, well,
I think it's a whole new spin on ugliness because, there is a such thing as inner beauty. And, I'm always interested, and, I go around saying, nice package, what's in the box?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what's going on inside people because I really believe that that's where inner beauty comes from. And it is a whole new spin on